Hey friends, welcome to a special episode of Psycho for Tyco. This is actually an epilogue to our Virginian Truckee locomotive series. Now we all know that the first Virginian Truckee closed business in 1950. However, in 1976 there was a revival of the Virginian Truckee, which is a 14-mile route from here where I'm at in Virginia City down to Carson City, or just the outskirts of Carson City. And we're going to actually have an interview today with a representative of the Virginian Truckee. And so let's enjoy a little bit of Virginia City as I come on up here and visit and have breakfast and see a few of the sights, and then we'll get right to the interview. And that's next on Psycho for Tyco.
From Tyco, of course.
Virginia City is about 30 minutes from the Reno Airport, as you can see here. And halfway up, you get this absolutely beautiful view of Reno and its surrounding environs. My house is there somewhere. And one of the things you will notice as you drive up is, well, mainly the scenery and all the colors. And that's what I want to show you here on this drive, was just the colors of the rocks and the trees and everything else, especially in the spring and summertime. And trust me, we are going to be coming back up here soon enough. But just for this small moment, enjoy the drive up, and I'll be right back. First fair warning when you get up here to Virginia City, make sure your speed limit is 20 miles an hour. Now, when you get here, you can just see this town is not only begging to be modeled, but also, hey, this ain't Bonanza! This isn't what I saw in Bonanza! But I mean, as you can see here in Virginia City, you've got lots of little taverns and bars, and yeah, of course, you have the vacant buildings because Virginia City was built by the V&T. But you got little places like this fudge shop, which I love to go, little photo studios where you can take old-timey photos, and just the area is absolutely beautiful. Now, of course, some people will hate on it. I don't know why. I haven't seen any reason to hate this town, but you're going to get haters. But, I mean, look at the view. And then, of course, in downtown is the ticket office, which used to be the pay car for the V&T, which used to carry the miners' pay and everything else. And this car was retired when the line was retired in 1939. This town just has museums everywhere. I mean, the whole town is literally a museum, and tours, and a haberdashery. Yes, a place where you can actually have hats made. And another historic piece is the Fourth Ward Museum, which is a must-see, as well as this church, which is like a massive, impressive church for a small mountain town. I got here early, so I decided I was going to stop for breakfast at this little place here. I believe this was called the Virginia City Steakhouse. I can't remember the name. And as you can see, I got here early, and I'm on a weekday, so it's like this place wasn't filled. But I decided I was going to go ahead and get this nice traditional breakfast, which I'll show in a minute here, because I was just too busy checking it out. Yep, there's the traditional breakfast, and it was absolutely delicious, even for the price. Now, I'm not sure if this place just opened or what the deal was, but like I said, the food was absolutely excellent for breakfast, except maybe, like I said, you know, the silverware was plastic, but what are you gonna do, right? So it was time for me to visit the V&T yards of the actual second coming of the Virginian Truckee and talk to the founder's son.
My name's Tom Gray, with the Virginia Truckee Railroad Company in Virginia City, Nevada. It's March 25th, 2026. To answer your question about the original vision was, well, you know, the tracks were torn up here in 1938 and between Carson City and Virginia City, and then the rest of the railroad was torn up late 1950s between Reno and Minden. And you know, this is an iconic railroad when it's built. A lot of people just love this old train, and my dad was one of the last riders on the train when he was 17 years old up to Virginia City. And a bunch of himself and a bunch of his friends decided, you know, we should rebuild this thing. And so they got together in the late 60s, and then they all passed away, but my dad kept going, and in the 70s he acquired the property here. And he started relaying track in, I think, 74, 75, and built the shop building here. And then, you know, we started running our first train 50 years ago, July 2nd, 1976, and that was the nation's bicentennial celebration. So it was a big deal to get all the historic venues going again. And, you know, since then, we've hauled several million people on this track. We go from Virginia City to Gold Hill, and the Railway Commission has built the track from the end of our tracks in Gold Hill down into Carson City, another 10 more miles. And so we do that on the weekends a lot of times. And so, I mean, just kind of make a lot of people's dreams come true, you know?
You got such an awesome collection of freight cars here, and I gotta honestly say it's more impressive than my train collection, and more expensive too. Where did you find all of them? How did you acquire them?
One at a time. So the first thing we did, we bought a tank car so we could store fuel oil, and we leased a locomotive the first year, a steam locomotive, and then the second year we were able to borrow a locomotive. Then we actually bought the number 29, which is a Longview Portland Northern 680, and it became the V&T 29. And we ran that for most of the trains up here until a few years ago. We started doing the 15-year inspection on it. We've taken the boiler tubes out. So we have another locomotive now, the V&T 30, which is the old ex-Santa Maria Valley 100, Charles McCormick 100, built in 1926, a 282 Makaido locomotive. So we're just getting that thing ready to go, finishing up the initial 15-year inspection, the Form 4 work, and rebuilding the underside and all the machinery. So we expect that'll last us for a lot of years. Yeah, well, you know, later on I bought some nice passenger cars, the Pullman built cars, 1914, pre-World War I era. And we've used those in a bunch of movies, Killers of the Flower Moon, and Johnny Depp was up here for Dead Man, and we just recently did 1923. We shipped it to Montana. They have the old wicker seats. I got those out of Wisconsin, bought them from one of my friends up there. Then we bought another car out of Michigan. You just kind of find them all over the place, but we have to transport everything here. You have cranes on both ends, so it takes quite a while. But every year we acquire one or two pieces of equipment we need, and we've got pretty much everything we need now.
So I know right now the railroad just goes to the outskirts of Carson City. Are there any plans of, like, say, expanding it into Carson City, possibly over to the V&T Museum out there, or I don't know, maybe the Union Pacific line?
Well, Basically, we're just building out our infrastructure, you know, a little bit at a time. But the plans were to extend the tracks further down into Carson City through the Carson River Canyon. The next 3 miles is really beautiful through the canyon, the old Brunswick Canyon and Carson River Canyon. It's nice where the old train ran. It just takes you really back in time. It's a beautiful trip. And up here, we're adding sidings and little buildings and this and that to build it out. It makes us a lot more efficient and makes the railroad a lot more durable. We have the locomotive Reno, so we need a nice, suitable home for it. It used to run right out of the depot that we have now, our original 1869 depot, and that's where it pulled the Lightning Express train, started its train. So we'll find the exact spot that it ran and build a nice structure for it, and so people can see it.
Would the museum, or does the railroad itself have any plans of maybe bringing the museum trains up here to run?
They could, you know, I mean, you could do it for a photo shoot and celebrations. You know, we're under the FRA standards up here, and the museum has a different state standards, a little bit different, but we share the same people and the same passion. The gauge is the same, you know, so they're doing a wonderful job on the Inyo. They got a heck of a project, but when they're done, that's going to be a really suitable engine.
So I know some people ask about like excursion lines, and even though this one's kind of isolated, one of the weirdest questions is there any potential or possibility of freight service on this line?
Not really, but except for one thing, hauling gold and silver ore or waste products. A few years back, the mine in American Flat, the Comstock mine, you know, their waste, there was some potential for the waste piles getting too big, and so we looked at a solution to actually haul some of the waste material farther away by railroad. And you know, they process the ore down there, so they make the small dorés now, and that goes out all by truck. But that was a possible solution. And years before that, there was another mining company up out of 6 Mile Canyon that had proposed something too.
So in the absence of actual freight service, you guys run like photo freight excursions like the Durango and Silverton does?
We do. In the summertime, Alero Productions comes up in the winter, maybe every 3rd or 4th winter. They'll come up, and we take the trains out in February when it's really cold and steam condenses. It's a beautiful trip. And so we're kind of waiting till the 30's done, and so you can have a new engine to film.
All right, and I know there's a question on everybody's lips. What does it take to work here?
Your passion. That's about it. You have to have a little bit of common sense, but passion is the main thing.
Okay. Hey, I'd like to give Mr. Thomas Gray a big thank you for allowing me the interview and the tour of the shops and of the grounds. As you could tell, I was very nervous. This is the first time I've ever done an interview on YouTube. I'm hoping it won't be the last. I really appreciate the cooperation of the Virginia and Truckee Railway of allowing me all this, and as you can see behind me is locomotive number 11, and this is undergoing restoration. And if you want to know more about the Virginia and Truckee Railroad, you want to ride it, you want to come up to Virginia City and check it out, hey, here's the link right here. I'm going to put the link also in the description. And as my song goes, Virginia and Truckee, we roll. And I'm Psycho for Tyco. Hey friends, thanks for watching the video. I know you're at the end, but if you like this video, just remember, every 2 weeks I'm going to be bringing out a new video on budget model railroading, the history of Tyco trains, the history of other model railroad companies, and some how-to things that maybe you've never learned before or you've known and you want to share with your friends but you never knew how. Well, here's the way. All you got to do on this video is like, share, subscribe, and if you want notifications, hit the little bell there, which I still don't know how to do, but we'll figure it out eventually. But until then, hey, we'll see you in the next video, and I am Psycho for Tyco.